shoot out the light. It's a small town Saturday night. It's a small town Saturday night.
And welcome back to The Five. This next talker comes from a Washington Times piece, and a lot of people are asking, has political correctness gone too far? Former Navy Secretary John Lehman sending shockwaves through the U.S. military by saying that too much political correctness is actually sinking the Navy. And Greg, I read the whole piece through, and I think he makes a very politically incorrect but very important point, which is that from the 1991 tailhook scandal, the Navy has had enormous pressure, particularly from Democrats in Congress, to kind of strip out the swagger and the frat boy style that gave us Top Gun, but also helped us to win wars like World War II and the Vietnam War, you know, engaged in that kind of combat. And that's the kind of style that we need from these Navy aviators. And now, because of PC, they're all stripped down basically to, you know, shy retiring types.
Yeah, I mean, this might be kind of a complaint of remember the good old days kind of thing you might get from an old fogey. But I will say this, the purpose of the military is to protect our nation. The purpose of the politically correct movement is to protect our feelings. These are incompatible. The military is designed to be an efficient killing machine. If that efficient killing machine is a jerk, great. If he's a nice guy who can't shoot straight, that's bad. So I think, you know, I don't like our military being used as a social experiment. However, our military, these people are great. They could probably roll with it better than we could. But I still think it's unfair to put them through some...
I think the military is where we find the most equality, actually.
Yeah,
sure.
Definitely.
Absolutely. And so I'm very suspicious. Oh, we allow gays in the military, and here he comes to say, no, don't do that.
Wait,
and what about women?
Tailhooks.
Oh, women can't shoot straight? Oh, I don't think so. I think women can shoot straight.
You know what? I will say this. I think there has to be a distinction made here. Don't ask, don't tell. It's over. It's great. If you want to serve our country, doesn't matter who, what, where, you should. But you can't for a minute believe it's a good idea to put women in combat situations because other countries aren't going to do that. It's like deciding that you're a fan of the Dallas Cowboys. Just imagine if your favorite football team decided to put women in the backfield. Do you think other football teams are going to do the same thing? No, they're just going to beat the hell out of you.
And also, to be very fair to Secretary Lehman, because I did read the whole story.
How does that work?
Putting women on the battlefield is like putting women on a professional football team while the other teams don't have to do that. No one would do that.
No, you two are going to have to apologize tomorrow for different things.
What did I do?
And guys, I need to make it really clear because you're sort of piling on Secretary Lehman. I read the whole piece, and what he said was that integrating gays and women into these combat roles should be done, but it has to be done without compromising our combat readiness. So let's be fair to him.
But they can't be frat boys on a submarine in close quarters with women. You got to behave yourself.
Why not?
What?
And women can be rowdy too, Juan. You clearly have not been out with me.
They have to worry about what they say in a submarine when their lives are on the line and they may get shot and blown out of the water at any minute.
Well, you have to in the private sector.
Correct, I don't offend someone.
Exactly.
But in the private sector, you can't go around and say things.
But it's not the private sector.
Right.
That's the whole point.
I know, but why? Well, I don't know. All I know is that the only person that's involved in this show that never got the PC memo is Bob Beckel. And he doesn't care. And he's unapologetic about it. And in some ways you think, well, yeah, why should you apologize for this or that? And maybe we are a little just too oversensitive. But I think about it all the time, like, oh, I can't say that. You shouldn't say that.
Pilots, Mr. Lehman says, pilots constantly worry about anonymous complaints about salty language.
But that's why you have HR departments.
Really?
But the military,
and sexual harassment.
This gets to Greg's point. The military's job is to fight the enemy and kill the enemy if necessary. This is not about social engineering. You're not supposed to watch every word, and you know, they're not on television. They don't have to watch the word. And you want grizzled, swaggering guys and gals doing these kind of combat operations in defense of the United States, and they shouldn't have to be, you know, watching every word that comes out of their mouth. Or they're going to get ripped up.
Salty language, Juan.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Listen, you want them to be a cohesive unit. You don't want people being offended. You don't want women feeling intimidated and threatened. That's not good.
Can I make a point though? Do you know when I talk to guys in the military, they always tell me how brutal they are to each other, the kinds of insults. They are the least sensitive people when it comes to a unit. They love ripping on each other, and that's something the private sector and academia do not understand.
May I ask this very quickly? I'm sorry. So in a locker room, Juan, there's a female reporter in the locker room. Guys, the football players have to, like, be careful what they say.
That's true.
And wear a towel.
That's true. Isn't that true?
No.
That's what happened with the Jets last year.
Stay out of the locker room.
Oh, you want
Okay,
so you're going to take away women reporters' right to work?
Unless they're okay wearing something they may not think is PC.
We'll continue this during the break. Coming up, the photo that has the White House wishing they could turn back the hands of time. Stay with us. The 5 coming right back.
Oh, that big night train to Georgia.